right, what's good, everybody? Like, share, subscribe, Cash App, $ Winston Spivey. We got into pollen season here, so excuse me for rubbing my face here. But welcome, everybody. Thank you for your time. I've been meaning to put this video out here because I'm going to get into the story and then I'll make my remarks about what I think about all this. So a lot of you guys, y'all know Candace Owens if you've been in the know, for quite some time here. And she puts out a lot of consciousness. She's been in the political sphere for a while. That kind of thing. All right. And there must be some type of political fallout here. And like I said, I will explain that. But I saw an interesting article that is. The truth is, I know New Breed was talking about it. Shout out to New Breed. Was talking about basically of why she thought Charlie Kirk may have been, assassinated. And I agreed to some of that. And I want to elaborate on that now. She had mentioned on this particular podcast she did a few days ago about what was going on with Isreal and some remarks that I believe Charlie Kirk made in an interview about Isreal, where I believe is Netanyahu, the president. If I messed that up, sorry about that. Okay, and there's some other people. I believe it was Bill Atkins, that he was a financier, a billionaire financier. Okay, and there may have been some other elites what didn't find very, very amusing. Okay, that he had brought this, Mr. Kirk, that is, had brought this to Candace Owens' attention about the way that things were handled over there. Okay, basically that there's on the brink of civil war. Okay, where and this is what Charlie Kirk was saying. Okay, where Israelis were on the brink of flattening the Gaza Strip. Okay, and a lot of this crap over there keeps on going over there, so they can find an excuse to keep on using, getting money and things of that nature for weaponry and that kind of thing, and the technology, okay, and to fund the doggone military. That money that they're getting for the U.S. or for the UN. Okay, it was basically Isreal is UN's baby. Okay, but it is biblically prophesied where Israel has to be stabilized, destabilized to get it back into the proper order. Now, Candace Owens had told Charlie Kirk that that's something that she had recommended him not to get into. Okay, along with the Gaza Strip or whatever, there was talk about that, and he had mentioned there's been like 1,000 Jews or Israelis over there that's been unalived. Okay, so it's kind of quiet as kept that there's been a lot of back and forth going with this. So people are getting off on both sides. So when you put all this stuff together, it does make a lot of sense, because you got their own thing going on over there. And then you see here a few months ago, and a lot of people have been making videos about that, then you had Iran over there acting up, and they were shooting stuff back and forth to Iran and Israel. Okay? And basically he was making statements like this, where President Trump, okay, which basically was signified on Charlie Kirk, because he brought these issues up to Mr. Trump, and I guess Mr. Trump had got disgruntled and wanted to redirect the conversation somewhere else, from my understanding, okay, or from reports that I've read. He said in the interview, Mr. Kirk, that he felt as though that president and these financiers were in Trump's pocket. So in other words, Trump is being puppeted. Like many of us that's already in the know, like we don't know that, okay? Where a lot of these presidents are being puppeted by committees and interest groups, okay? Which really run this world anyway. All right? And once again, because of statements like that he made, and he ended up coming out public in an interview with the stuff that I told you about, all right, she felt as though that may have been the reason why Mr. Kirk is no longer here. I agree to some of that. What I think that happened is that they may have been looking into, unaliving that guy after that or whatever, because I think that they wanted to fry that man. He was offered to come over there. I guess they wanted to talk to him and work things out, and he was offered money. He turned down the invitation and then turned down the money. That's Charlie Kirk. Okay? So, that might have been for a reason. Who's to say? I'm just saying, though, he would have came over there and didn't come back or whatever, or ended up coming back in a box. You never know. But once again, I do agree to that. I believe that they may have been looking into that. And I believe that Trump may have been trying to, fight for him, to go up to bat for him. But as I said before, okay, and I'm not the only person that feels this way, because we mentioned the Epstein files, that he was looking in, or he was questioning the president about that, and the president was all like, hey, let it go, and things of that nature. And he did say in the interview, the same interview, that the DOJ should, that is Department of Justice, that is, should be trying to expose the Epstein files. There's also some riff about Charlie Kirk's wife that Donald Trump knew and ended up winning Miss Arizona back in 2017 when she was 23 years old, and so forth. Now, I don't know what that, was all about and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? And people question about her movements, about, when she did this speech, or, she was trying to do like a farewell speech. That's farewell speech, and then one she done before that after, Charlie's death, her husband's death. And I want to say that without being disrespectful to or making, trying to mock Charlie Kirk's death. But I'm just saying that the movements and things like that, a lot of people feel, and I kind of side-eye those movements and, and the reactions, but people do react different. All right? But a lot of people, a lot of people have been sending reaction comments based off that, okay? Particularly the farewell ceremony. Even the truth is, the narrator on there felt as though it was some type of WWF, introduction, that kind of thing. But look, I believe in closing that they were looking into that, okay, after those Israeli comments. And I think Candace was on to something, but I believe that the Epstein files was icing on the cake, because it was alleged that Charlie Kirk may have been trying to do his own investigation, okay? He may have known somebody, maybe their mom, or maybe known somebody that had been affected, okay? Could be somebody close and near and dear. Makes me want to question, what's her name, Erica? Was she one of those people, being that her and Trump, they knew each other from back in the day? All right? Inquiring minds want to know. So that's my reaction about that interview that I saw with Candace Owens. Okay? And I think she needs to be very, very careful as well. okay? Because right now she in subdued, deep doo-doo, especially after her making that comments about President Macron's wife, you know? So let me know what you think here, okay? And stay tuned. We'll have more content and so forth coming later. Peace.